So, um, this guy walks into a pizza place, and he walks in. He's a bit flustered. He's a bit, it's a bit tired. It's been a while.
The
Goes,
Port
excuse me.
fan.
Yeah. Goes, excuse me, sir. Will my pizza be long? And the guy on the other side turns around and goes, "Nah, mate, it'll be round."
That's terrible. Ah, yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
That might be my favorite one.
Smash the godforsaken glass.
Here at the glass table, we're just like
I
you.
like to play football, I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
Yay. I like to play football, and I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
But we do things a little bit differently around here.
That could be a dream, Jared.
Stupid dick.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the glass table. It's episode 80, which is 10 points less than what Port Adelaide lost by on the weekend. And about 20 points too much of what the Saints won on the weekend. So the balance isn't quite right, Thanos, but
Differing ones.
that's okay. That's where I can simply say, hello, JT.
Hello, I am very, very glad to be here. Like you said, the balance is not quite right. Usually, for the two previous years that we've done this, if we come into this, it's either both our teams win, that's great. Both our teams lose, that's bad. Or if one of our teams win, it's usually Port, the one that's doing the winning. So this is one of those rare occasions where it's the opposite way around, and Saints have had a very good win, and the Port have not. But
I'm going to do some investigating here because
yeah.
on the weekend you played before us, right, in the
Yes.
round. Right? And I've been conscious of when we played. And we've been a few times where we played
Yep.
on the same day, either or. So round one, we played before you. We both lost round one, but we played before you.
Yep.
Round two, we played before you, and we won. The Saints also won. Round three, we played before you, lost. The Saints won. Round four, you beat us. Round five, we played after you and won, and you lost. Round six, we played before you and won, and you lost. Round seven, we played after you, you lost, we won. Round eight, you played before us, won, and we lost. So the general thing is, right, is we have to play before you and win, or you have to play before us and lose, so we win.
Yeah. So no matter what, it's just the way it goes.
So I go Carlton Friday
night. Putting the prayers out there for a Carlton win.
Well, no, it was an interesting round of footy overall.
Interesting is a nice way of putting it.
Tell you what, it was just there was no scale that could measure it. It was just
right before the round.
Comprehend.
We said how bad it was going to be. Like we were like, the first couple of games are going to be bad. We didn't quite realize just how bad they were actually going to be. But then, not only that, we thought, oh yeah, once you get past the first couple, it'll get okay. Nah, it almost got worse before it got better.
It was really bad. Like Saturday, awful. If you lined up Saturday, you would have said, all right, 3 out of those 4 games are going to be good.
Wrong.
3 out of the 4 of those games were bad. But we kicked off, and I'll run through it in 60 seconds because I thought it was good last week when I did it, and I don't know about anyone else, but anyway. Kicked off for Thursday night, North and Essendon in a shit classic, which is great, and God forsaken the poor umpires that called play on to our man Finlay.
Finbar O'Malley. Oh, man.
I don't know why I called him Finlay. I think of something else. The Saints on Friday night produced 94 points in total on a game when they were about 10 odd at half time. The Dockers were in dire straits and nearly scoring their lowest ever total halfway through the third quarter and somehow scraped to 33. That game unless you're a Saints fan, should never be watched or seen again. And Channel
No.
7 will be burning any sort of soul possible with it. Saturday, Port went to Ballarat. Well, so it says on the team sheet. I don't think they rocked up. The Dogs got done by 90. You know what? I was going to save this before with what we'll link in later on, but I would much rather lose by 90 at Marvel than lose by 90 at Ballarat. Like, this is why it's so bad. There was 4,000 people. Half the ground is just dirt, and we've gone there and played like dirt. That's just, it's diabolical. The worst part about it is I come off the ground after my loss in local footy, find out not only the Crows are beating Carlton by 60, obviously found out about the Port result. At that point, I was like, you can put me on a drip feed with beer. Sat down, watched the Saturday night games in total, thought the Cats and Eagles were going to win, so I put it in a multi. It was paying $800. Thought I was going to get up, but didn't, because the Eagles decided not to turn up after half time and lose to the D's. The Cats won a thriller. They got across the line by the edge of their feet.
Hang on. That's the only good one.
That was the only banger match.
Yep.
There is no Seamus banger after banger in this round, that's for sure. We went to Sunday. Don't know why the Battle of the Bridge was played at like 11 a.m. but it was, and it kicked off arguably the worst day of footy because the goal kicking in this day was terrible.
Yep.
The Hawks and Tigers put on a no one will remember classic. And lastly, we sat down to watch the Q Clash, which was so exciting. It had all the drama and the built up and everything. There to be a bear, gonna piss down with rain. 2 top quality sides, and it was awful.
Nothing. After halfway through the second quarter, it was nothing.
It was. They call it the Q Clash. There was no Q to watch
it. There was nobody at this game. We were just there was no point. Like, it was one of those ones where, yeah, like you said, we came into it with all the makings of we can do this. We are going to watch this one. The Sunday game, 7:20, is a little bit rough, but it's okay because at least it's a good game. And then it just wasn't. And then we went, okay, that's
Going
fine, man. I don't care anymore. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's okay because round 8 happened. So let's try and put a positive spin on it. And round 8 has given me arguably no segue into Stupid Sexy. So
it was the complete opposite of Stupid Sexy, but we're going to do it anyway.
Ridiculously ugly? No, smart ugly.
Smart, yes. Stupid Sexy.
AFL player.
That's the one.
That's the one. Well, what was your smart ugly of the week?
Smart ugly of the week. Oh, it's very, very funny. Struggled a little bit with this one. Like you said, there was nothing good happening this week, and if we didn't use Brisbane last week, probably would have been them. But this one is one. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I used one of my Stupid Sexies was 2 specific players, and it was people proving the doubters wrong, and I was projecting my way of saying that onto a lot of people, onto media and other fans and everything like that. However, this time I'm giving my Stupid Sexy to a player that has kind of proven me wrong. Not proven me wrong, but never exactly been a huge fan of this player. However, he's too good to discount anymore, and he's, no matter how annoying he may be, I have to sit here and say this guy is an unbelievable footballer, and he is genuinely, when he retires, is going to be one of the all-time greats, and I'm going to be batting for him forever, and that's Patrick Dangerfield. And I hate that he's still so good, because he just, all game, and my mum at 3/4 time was like, I haven't seen Danger much. And I went, yeah, you're right, Jenny. He hasn't done much. He's been pretty quiet. And then he had an all-time quarter, and I went, okay, whatever, man. And I'm just sick of it, because he should be bad by now, and he's not. And that sucks.
I love it, because I saw Damo put out his AFL.com.au MVP, and I love when players get recognition for the definition of most valuable player isn't.
Not all stats.
It's not all 30-2. My name's Nick Dacos. My name's so and so from here and there and everywhere. No. It's having an impact when it counts. And you're right, Patrick Dangerfield just knows how to make an impact on your screen, doesn't he? No matter where he is.
A lot of shit. We've given a lot of shit over time, but I can't ignore him anymore. He's very good, and it's very upsetting. And I'm so glad that he didn't do that against us when we played them. Oh boy.
Yeah, it does suck, doesn't it? These people get better with age. Thanks, JT. Yes, I'll get on to mine next. Thank you very much. Links to the same game because I think, by the sounds of it, we only watched one game.
One game of Swedish.
And obviously, you were pretty much paid to watch the Saints, so it doesn't really count. And God forbid, I would have not even been paid to watch Port on the weekend.
Yep.
I'll go straight to it. Bally Smith is obviously has been possibly mentioned as a stupid sexy before.
In the early days, he was, yeah.
We've seen countless moments where he has been stupid sexy, and both on the field and off it. People will remember the ad post on Instagram. Driving force, that one. Anyway, so his comment on the weekend is the reason he's made the stupid sexy, because he loves the limelight, and I'm a person that if a player enjoys the limelight and can back it up on the field, he's having a career best year in the first 8 games, arguably a Brownlow contender with various other names, and has just been a shining star in his comeback, which credit to himself is amazing. But he's also made headlines for, as we've talked about, ads, fingers and birds.
Say that one.
And this time he's decided to throw shade at the Ballarat crew and the Dogs and the spicy game that's coming up in round 11 that's everyone talking about. Let's talk about the comment, because pretty good when he's playing in front of 82,000 at the MCG compared to Ballarat, which is 4-0. I talk about Ballarat because the comment is relevant with the fact when half the fucking stadium's dirt.
There's a reason there's only 4,500 people there.
Correct. Why the fuck are you playing down there? Anyway, I love it. I love the shit stirring. I love a player that can back it up. And, it begs me to point out the fact that not only is it a stupid, sexy comment, it's playing good footy. So
it's coming from a stupid, sexy player as well. I absolutely agree. I think this, I don't know if this is just like recency bias, but I think the players are a little bit more spicy this year. They're a little bit more.
Oh, I wanted to mention this. Thank God you brought it up.
People there, everyone's getting a little bit more angry. And I like it. I think for a long time, players are just two mates, like people were like Nick Dacos and Charlie Curnow making a drink company together. What's that shit about? It's Carlton Collingwood, step away from each other. Like all these guys all making companies and ball magnets and all these guys that are all everywhere, all being mates and stuff. I'm sick and tired of it. And now I know that in round 11, like you said, Geelong Bulldogs is not going to be any of that shit. Bailey Smith is going to get his head taken off. Tom Liberatore is going to look at him across the centre circle and go, "You're mine." And I'm going to kill you. And I'm so excited about it. And like Hawthorn Richmond, while it wasn't a good game, had a lot of spice in it. James Sicily looked like he wanted to kill people. Nick Watson and Tim Taranto and all these guys looked like they wanted to kill people. And I liked it. I like that everyone doesn't really like each other right now. It makes me very happy.
Footy is basically at the moment shit umpiring, shit footy, a whole lot of this.
A lot of people getting really angry at people.
I want to talk about the seagull problem at the MCG. There's a lot of other birds going around at the moment. And that's like it's really bad. Nick Watson got pointed out as well. The Wizard. He made that. Yeah, I know. Why are people getting angry at the G? Like it's supposed to be the home of footy. There's a lot of trouble at home, boys and girls.
It's meant to be a sacred turf of the MCG.
That's like walking into the Vatican City and undressing.
Just fucking.
Next thing you know, no one didn't want to play down at Ballarat either. You got Willie Rioli standing there going, "I know people."
Oh, that is an insane comment to make, by the way.
I know, like that's borderline terrible.
I was going to say, we don't have to touch on that too much because that's out of our
Oh,
wheelhouse.
I'm not touching on it, but I'm just saying,
boy.
you want to talk about footy being spicy at the moment. There is just
That's
a lot.
There's a line, and I think Willioli is just...
Also, yeah, there's a line, but also the other thing that's creeping into people's games, know your arm length. Because I'm sick of people just throwing an arm out in the contest when they're running for it and just knocking some fucker out.
Melican fucking smacked Toby
Melican knocked the pelican out of
Bedford.
Toby Bedford.
So hard. Oh my god.
We saw it the other week with Patrick Voss, who's
Yeah.
such an NPC, but still, it's very funny.
Rory Lobb did it to Mason Cox. People are just hitting people.
Can we calm down? Can we focus on honing in on the skills of the game rather than playing shit footy, not hitting a target, and then belting some fucker at full forward?
We're getting into real weird areas. I think it's because like players are getting frustrated. They're like, oh, we're not allowed to lay a tackle. Instead, I'll just punch a bloke in the face and get 2 less weeks and I'll be okay.
Yeah, and then when we actually lay a tackle, we get suspended for it. And we go on social media and be like, touch
football. What a weird week. What a weird time to be watching.
It's been the weirdest 8 rounds of footy ever.
Everyone's just really angry and it's really funny. I just like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the weirdness of it because I still can't predict what's going to happen this year.
No.
Because I generally have no idea. Brisbane are the benchmark. I still think the benchmark. The Pies and the Cats are probably guaranteed prelim finals after the 8 rounds.
It's insane that you said this, right? Because I've written here, I'm like, I actually wrote, unpredictable, but I trust 3 teams. Brisbane, Collingwood, and Geelong.
I trust 3 teams. I would throw Adelaide in there almost, but they can't play away.
Not really. Again, that Freo game makes me completely question everything. So now I'm like, I don't know, you know?
Freo and Adelaide. I'm glad you brought it up because that game is probably
the same, right?
They're the same.
Yeah, they're the same.
Because they can play at home. They're so good at home.
Yeah.
They know how to play at home. They bash the living shit out of whoever they'll play at home. Carlton lost by 60 on the weekend. No one would have told me that. Right? Freo probably go ahead and beat Collingwood this week.
Probably, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And then Adelaide, they can't play away though. Very weird.
It's so strange. Like
St Kilda.
That's what it is. But this is the ultimate. Well, it kind of leads me perfectly because it's like Freo made Adelaide look silly at home. We made Freo look disastrous at home. We got absolutely pounded by Adelaide in Adelaide. I don't get it. Is home ground advantage that severe nowadays where like you won't lose at home? Doesn't happen. Just doesn't.
I would say that, but then West Coast don't know what a home is at the moment.
Man,
Port Adelaide have lose every couple at home. I lost to the Saints at home. Brisbane got pumped by. I don't think there's any advantage in footy anymore. No, actually,
who knows? To be honest, I don't even know anymore. On the Eagles quickly as well. Again, watching. I don't know when I say watching this Eagles game. I had it on in the background while I was watching Collingwood Geelong, but. Massive crowd again. And I will bring this up all the time. I consistently applaud West Coast fans that keep going to these games because if you haven't won a game, you're 0-8. And you're just like, I'm going to keep rocking up. And you've barely looked like winning. You almost got close against Essendon and that's it.
There's some that I know they're sitting there and they're going, there's so much talent. You're in games though.
They're like, I can
they
feel
are
it,
so close. Like there's this a little bit of momentum there. You nearly got across the line against the Dons this week and the D's. You were up at halftime. You got players like Elijah Hewitt that are playing really good footy.
Yep.
And they are. He got dropped on the weekend.
Well, yeah, that's true. He was playing good at the start of the year.
That's how much we pay attention. But the next 2 games. And put an omen on it. I think they'll get the one in the next 2. Now, the target
because I know what's in the next 2.
Let me finish. Right.
Yes.
The Tigers at the MCG, which on current form, they're
They're all right. They're all right.
It's not. I mean, they're going to be a good game of footy. I mean,
No, it'll be a close game of footy.
It's when I wake up on Sunday that I'll be watching it purely for the fact there's a game of footy on. But then you're back at home. Who knows what St Kilda will turn up that week?
I was gonna say, could be the worst team. Like, I think I'm all. Yeah, I did actually. I definitely made the tweet being like, if the Eagles don't win this game, I don't know when they're gonna win, and then I put in brackets they will 100% beat St Kilda in Perth in 2 weeks, because that would be such a game for us to lose. If they don't win in the next 2, I think they're screwed.
Let's take it 1 week at a time with the Eagles. But I agree with your fan comment. I think they just continue to turn up. It was the 200th appearance of Aussie the Eagle on the weekend.
They made more of a deal out of that than they did Oscar Allen, which is really, really
well.
Weird.
One of them's only meeting with Sam Mitchell. Like, I mean, do you really think I'm going to celebrate Oscar Allen when he's having a meetup with an ex-teammate, an old coach, this and that? Do you think when Aussie the Eagle is right there swooping around, he probably got more meters gained than Oscar Allen the weekend? Like, it's just pay tribute to those that are loyal.
The most loyal of them all, the fucking eagle that flies around.
If I balance it out, if it's
Grim.
200 games, right, and you average it out to about 11 home games a year, he's been going a fair while.
It's an old eagle. I did not think about that. That is a fucking old eagle. Wow. How old? What's that? I'm going to look it up. What's an eagle's lifespan? What are they feeding this?
That's at least 18 years.
A bald eagle's lifespan is 20 to 30 years. He's getting on. He's
done 200. Yeah, I back him for 3.
If you're right. He's got 10.
Where does that put him on the West Coast Eagles all-time games list? I need confirmation. I need confirmation of this. So he's got 200, right? He currently will sit. Oh, does it tell me? Why doesn't AFL tables do it in number where he's at? All right, let me. Chris Manwaring and Jeremy McGovern. He's played more games for the Eagles than he has Jeremy McGovern.
Jeremy McGovern is widely regarded as one of the best players.
So let me tell you, if my prediction is right and Aussie Eagle gets to 300, he'll be second all time behind Shannon Hearn.
You know what? No wonder they celebrated him. I respect it.
Imagine if he played all that time. He'd be like 400 games. No injuries.
Away games too.
Remember when he nearly got suspended for getting off the leash?
I was about to say, I remember that day.
Lost his shit, just like all the fans.
Oh, no, they stick around. Good on them, to be honest. Absolutely good on them.
All right, have your 5 minutes about the Saints.
I'll tell you what, I'd probably be the only football person to be talking about St Kilda this week, because all anyone could talk about is how bad Freo were. And I'm not going to...
Said that to you last week.
I know, they do it every time. I'm not going to lie to you. Freo were bad. Like, there is no underestimating that. It's one of the worst performances. It's probably the worst performance any team has put together at all this year. I don't know if you saw some of the stats. St Kilda won the clearances by 28 on the weekend. That's the 6th biggest differential in AFL history since they've been recording the stats. And that team, like the team that has had the 28 plus differential, St Kilda, in the last 2 weeks have been, frankly, murdered in the midfield by the Dogs and the Lions. So it begs the question, just how bad were Fremantle on the weekend? And I would love to
really
say
bad.
St Kilda, but there was no tags out there at all. No tags. Hugo Garcia played on Sarong.
Rising Star.
Yes, Rising Star. They just played on them. They didn't do anything. They just did it. And yeah, I don't know what happened to Fremantle on the weekend. I cannot explain. But Go Saints.
Cooper Sharman is just someone that you can unreliably rely on.
Yep. He will always be there.
He won't turn up every week, but for some reason he'll turn up when you need it.
Yep.
And
he's the guy.
I feel like he doesn't really have a proper matchup because he can jump, he can run, he can move, he can be Acker in the pocket. He can just do things.
Does whatever he wants.
It's crazy. And Jack McRae put more stocks into being the best recruit of the year. So
he's close. I tell you what, he heard us talking about how Bailey Smith is close. Yeah, and I'm gonna be it, and I'm gonna do it again, kind of thing. He had 38 touches.
Do you know what Jack McRae's missing though? A bird.
Yeah, not that too.
So I hope if he walks out, now it's the perfect week to do it, Jack. You're at the MCG, right? Walk out there, get your 37th touch. You can't be tagged against the Blues, and I want you to just walk past the cheer squad, flip them one, take the fine,
and
Saints by 20.
And away you go. But no, he's been amazing. He had the highest contested possessions for a St Kilda player ever, which is insane.
Really shows the quality you've had the last.
Yeah, absolutely. Years, we've got some no midfielders out there. But yeah, dominated. Like you said, Cooper Sharman. He does this once a year, and it's hilarious. He will have one game at Marvel where he becomes Wayne Carey. And I'm like, you're very funny, Cooper Sharman. Very funny that you can do that. And yeah, Ackermanis it all. Mitch Owens took one of the great marks. I think we've got a goal of the year nomination and a mark of the year nomination this week, which is very, very funny. Yeah, did the big mark and then turned around and bowed to the crowd, which I just love. Tell you what,
bowing.
It was party time in the second half at Marvel. I think there's this AFL XG account on Twitter, and they call they call it when a team is when they think a team can't come back. They called it with 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes into the third quarter. I was like, wow, that is an early call, and everyone was right. So good on them. But man, funny.
I mean, when you're 1-1 at halftime, do you really think you're going to kick any more than 5 goals for the rest of the game?
There was not 1 second of the football on the weekend where I thought, yeah, Fremantle are going to win this. From the moment the ball was bounced, I was like, man, the Saints are winning this.
We predicted it. The Dockers, I don't know what it is, but the Dockers, teams that wear white just don't perform well.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen a couple of times this year.
Saints in their Anzac jumper.
Port twice.
Saints
in the Anzac jumper. The Swans gather round.
Yep.
Freo obviously on the weekend. Fremantle just in general when they wear white, I think is just the most.
First. I don't remember them ever winning it.
I picture them wearing white, and I picture Luke McFarlane with a glove.
Oh man.
Des Headland.
Yeah. We've done it.
Ryan
I tell you
Crowley.
What, right? There's another. We're going to talk in a little bit about how we do roundabouts in this, and how we're coming back to a thing we spoke about in the first episode. That is another thing that we spoke about in the first episode was obscure Fremantle players, and I love it. It's amazing.
Byron Shanna.
Yeah, that's the one. We had them all going. Anthony Morabito. We had everybody just rolling out and just loving life. Des Headland is a classic of that. Oh man, Freo.
Dean Solomon go from Essendon to Freo at one point.
I think so. Trent Crowe was obviously there. Funny. Really funny.
Well, it's a throwback episode here at GT. We might as well be wearing the same outfit we were at the start. And I'll grow my hair back.
I need to grow my hair out further than what it is.
I think we're pretty happy the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yes, no, obviously a lot of umpiring controversy on the weekend as well. We saw some questionable umpiring right over each and every single night. I throw it a Thursday now I counted the seconds. Borderline call. He started walking with 1 to go.
Yeah, okay. So you put it line ball, bit of line ball.
It is line ball, can understand, but and this is my thing. I don't know if you noticed this at the grounds, but when it hits 5 seconds, the clock goes away.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if they've started walking or not.
Yeah.
I just think if they start walking by 30, you're okay.
Yeah.
You just don't need to go 29. Right, he's not walking. Just
let's go. Yeah, no.
1 second.
Give it a go. But
This is a pretty important sense of occasion.
yeah, that's absolutely it. Have a sense of occasion. He is actually costing himself by taking so long because he's reducing the amount of time he can get to get the ball back, I think. So let him go. Just let him have his moment and let him have his time. Because yeah, and it's obviously like also close game, first game, let him go. Let him do what he needs to do. But that wasn't the only umpiring one of that day because of the classic reverse decision that should have been reversed, but a free kick, but then was given a ball up because he got a word in his ear like Randy Orton and decided I'll just ball the ball up.
It happened again.
Yeah, it happened in the Saints game. The Saints Freo game, he just stopped.
Okay. This is my little point of call.
Yep.
Right. But another point in time, I don't want to harp on the umpires. They're already getting ridiculed enough, and they're just getting worse and worse every single week we go. But it's not all about you.
No.
What's this? Right? You don't need to blow this every 5 seconds. You don't need to just relax, chill.
Yep.
Not every call is going to make or break your career. Not every call is going to concuss a player. Little high tackle slap, it's accidental. If you miss it, you miss it. If you get it, great. You make it more about you than it is about the call.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go to the Saturday night. I didn't realize a trip counted when I touched your hip. A player starting a tackle at the hip and sliding down.
It needs to be where it starts. Yeah.
We don't call a high tackle when it's a beautiful tackle and then the arm ends up. How many times do you see a ball up called, right? And the arm is just all the way around.
Yeah, and you see it, but because it's just the way they fell eventually kind of thing. Exactly. Yeah.
It's just
needs to be where it starts.
Put the goddamn whistle away.
Yeah. And if you're gonna fucking do your tapping into the ears thing or whatever, use it for good, Get a word, like have the mic thing in.
Positive free kick.
Yeah. Like have it in so that the people up in the box that are watching you can be like, hey, there's a free kick there, and they'll tell you kind of. But they don't do that. They only just listen to like random things, and it's like, and like we spoke about this last week or the week before, but like AFL is doing everything they can to make the game go so fast. Yet the thing that is slowing the game down more than anything in the world is the umpires. They slow everything down, and it's just like, oh my god! I wish like video review was just never a thing, and you just had to just back your gut and just do it, and the people on the ground are what matters, and that's all.
It's true. But if you're a fan of your club and you want to know the free kick differential, the AFL Fans Association put up a post with the differential. Now, as Port fans, I sit here and I look at it, we're bottom with negative 43. So, giving away a fair few, Port. That's the whole reason why we're 4-4 and losing by 90 points every second week. It's because of you umpires. Nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with Ken. Nothing to do with anything. It's the umpires and their stupid whistles.
Of course.
Also tells me that, we're second in the ball, but that's okay. Contested possessions aren't part of the game, Port.
Apparently not.
No. Hawthorn have the highest. They have plus 58 in free kick differentials.
That's fucking crazy.
Also,
so many.
They're 25 more ahead than the next best, which is Carlton, who are plus 33. 25 more. 58 positive. That's about the same height as Nick Watson.
And that's exactly why they get so many, because he's so small.
How many of so there is currently 7 teams that are positive in free kick differentials. So I think about 4 of them are in the top 8. So Hawthorn, Carlton, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Essendon, the Dogs and Melbourne, all pluses. There is no one with like plus 6, 7 or 8.
No.
The last positive is Melbourne plus 15. And you would think, forgive me, I'm wrong, you would think the next 2 that are in negatives would be pretty high up. Collingwood and Geelong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I put out the tweet this week and I was like, I hate to say it, but Collingwood got stiffed on the weekend. Like, it never feels like a thing you should say because it feels like Collingwood get a lot of free kicks, but they didn't on the weekend. And clearly this year they haven't been at all, which, it's fine, I suppose. But you look at it and like, you look at Hawthorn and I tell you what, like you talk about history repeating itself. Free kick Hawthorn is in action, and we are seeing it in real time.
Hawks also, just quickly touching on them as well. Even though they got pretty much gifted a lot of stuff on the weekend, they're not looking. I wouldn't say they're all there at the moment.
No, not fully. No, I think that Port loss kind of gave him a little bit of, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But regardless, that's a bit of a free kick update for you.
And we had put out the poll at the end of last week about the umpiring and what we think, and it was a resounding worst it's ever been, which is fair enough. And like I understand that, and I tend to agree in that it's probably around the worst that we've ever seen. I think it's just in the eye more. We had 91% of people say it's the worst it's ever been. So
the 9% that said it was everyone's overreacting are Hawthorn fans.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the way of going about it. But I mean, clearly it's a league wide thing, and we can only hope it gets better.
I think that also the AFL can get better league wide as well as the floating fixture. Now, I know we do rounds 1 to 15. The fixture is one of the more fundamental parts of the game, obviously, because every fan loves to know when they're playing. They love to know.
It's not just about the teams, but the fans, the people that want to travel and go to these games. Yeah.
We saw on the weekend, prime example of Ballarat having construction, and the Dogs are contractually obliged to play a couple of games there per year, which is completely understandable. But given the fact that it's under construction, this deal shouldn't really be allocated. And therefore, I think you can play that game at Marvel, considering no other game on the weekend after
Friday night was there. Yeah.
It was at Marvel. I understand the first three games of the round being at Marvel, the ground surface needs time to recover, and they didn't have a game there for the rest of the weekend. So I think you can get away with a pretty on point Marvel Stadium ground compared to a construction site.
320 if you wanted to,
Well, this is the thing with floating fixtures. It's like you talk about, we don't even know when round 16 will be. I think even moving that is a bit of a stretch in the middle of a round. I think moving it to a different stadium is completely fine.
Yeah.
Because if you can do it within the realms of Ballarat to Melbourne, Marvel Stadium, I think it's okay.
You haven't sold the tickets yet. It's fine.
Well, this is the thing. They sold the tickets, but there wasn't enough. But floating fixture round 16 to 23 is coming out next week, we've been told. And I find it fucking funny that the AFL and the news outlets and reporting has all been, this is your last chance to audition for a primetime slot in these 7. Look at this week and I go, I don't think Freo are getting a lot of primetime slots after this one. I look at St Kilda Carlton. Now, there's an opportunity to primetime slot audition.
Yes.
Fantastic. Back to back for the Saints. Gold Coast, the Dogs in Darwin, opportunity to have more. I think they will get a lot more.
Yep.
Showdown is obviously always going to be prime time, but for Port more so. If you want a couple of Friday nights in there, throw it in. I won't really talk about Richmond West Coast. Essendon Sydney, they're both in the similar playing field on the ladder, so there's potential there to really try and fight your way through. Also just looked at the ladder in the corner of my eye and saw that we are below Essendon.
And that hurts.
Based on percentage. Anyway, besides the point. If the AFL want to do a floating fixture, that's fine. But giving 8 weeks notice to people who need minimum 4 weeks in most job outlets where they need to give time for annual leave, or in some cases a lot longer.
Yep.
A lot of people plan their holidays. A lot of people want to know when their team's playing in general so they can organise events. People get engaged. People have birthdays. People do this and that. They want to book things in.
Life revolves around football.
If you want to be solemnly focused on people having eyes on your game, book the fucker in.
Yeah. Sort it out early and just let it happen. I think, you make your bed, you lie in it. If you get, in the end, right, doesn't matter that much. If you're in round 17, some teams that you thought were going to be good both aren't, and they're playing on a Friday, that sucks a little bit. But will I forget about it the next day? Probably. I don't really care. Like, it's going to be okay. I don't really care that much if I see, 13th versus 15th. Obviously, Saints Freo, you look at it and you're like, oh, why are these two teams on there kind of thing. But at least you're watching something, and you get an interesting result out of it. You get talking points. All the media and people want to bash, Saints Freo being on a primetime slot. That's all anyone could fucking talk about is how bad Freo were. And you wouldn't have watched it or cared anywhere near as much if it wasn't on a Friday. You will find stories out of it no
I
matter
think
what.
Freo would.
No matter, I mean, they have a story and it should be fucking sacked Justin Longmuir. But
Wow.
the thing I'm saying is you'll be able to find stories out of anything. That's what matters. So how about you just make it all at the start, allow your fans to do what you need to do, and split up your primetime games. Yes, you want to give your big ones to your Carltons, your Collingwoods, your Geelongs, your whatever. But also you need to expose teams like Gold Coast and Fremantle and things like that to these bigger audiences so that people actually know what you're looking at.
I've gone to the liberty of getting round 16 up, and I reckon we can build round 16 right here, right now, because one, it'll be fun, and two, we're running ahead of schedule, which is fantastic for once. Not for long, people, but buckle in. This is us predicting round 16. So the buys for this week, now don't forget, buys run over like 16 weeks in this year.
Forgot about these fucking buys.
Brisbane, Geelong, Essendon, Giants. You have two primetime slotters right there out of the way. So this is a round you can test out. So
what I think you can almost lock in is Port versus Carlton will be a Thursday or a Friday. That is, I think, I reckon a Thursday night or a Friday night for Port versus Carlton.
I love the idea of that, but also think there is Swans Dogs on a Thursday night coming our way.
Swans Dogs, that feels more like a Friday to me. I don't know why that is, but definitely one of those.
Possibly.
Friday.
But I'm throwing in that.
Collingwood West Coast is Saturday 4:40. It's a marvel.
Yeah, that's a Saturday 4:40. I think a Sunday. No, you know what? Freo Saints will be a Saturday night.
I hope not.
Well, look at the other games.
It could be the 4:40 though.
Hawthorn North down at Tassie is guaranteed a Saturday 1:20 time slot.
Yeah, okay. I was going to give Richmond Adelaide that, but that could be the Sunday. That could be the Sunday 1:20 Richmond Adelaide.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget that because this round has two less games.
True.
Sunday will probably most likely. Yeah. I think we'll get a 2:50 and a twilight.
True. Okay. So the 2:51 will be Richmond Adelaide. And then Gold Coast Melbourne would be the twilight.
No, I think they'll give the Saturday night to Gold Coast Melbourne.
True, because Gold Coast are playing on good footy. That's fair.
So Collingwood, with the twilight, you have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, which is 5, and then 2
Sunday,
games. Yeah. Port Adelaide, Carlton.
You're going to have to put Freo Saints on.
Yeah.
Oh, stiff.
Well, actually, when did Freo play the week before?
It's true.
Freo played Thursday night. So they'll probably play. I tell you what, the Saints are in good nick. You might squeeze a Thursday or Friday.
Well, it's in Perth though. That's the thing. So I don't know if they'll roll out a Thursday or a Friday.
Port, Carlton the week before play both on the Saturday, so I can guarantee you either get a 7-day break, and if that's a Saturday night fixture, or you're getting a Sunday 3:20. That will not be. If both teams lose on the weekend, that will not be your twilight slot.
That's fair.
Or Sunday, Friday night, Thursday night. That could be a. I tell you what, both teams running into that at 8 and 8. Or 8 and 7, 7 and 8 for finals. Bit juicy at the Adelaide Oval. Can't wait for Southern Radicale versus Charlie Curnow.
I remember the last Friday or Thursday night Port Carlton one. That was good.
So yeah, I don't think we made any ends meet with that. I can completely concur with the AFL, and I really think that they have a tough fixture, and everyone should lay off their backs.
What I think it is though is that's a really bad example because there are no good games in that whole round. There is not one game that I would be excited to watch out of any of those.
I would.
Poor Carlton.
Nah, Swans dogs would be. Collingwood West Coast is a matchup set to thrill.
I don't know. Although, at Marvel, Collingwood versus
Stranger
West Coast at Marvel.
Things.
Collingwood versus West Coast at Marvel. Stranger things have happened, and those stranger things being West Coast beating Collingwood at Marvel.
There's only 5 seasons of Stranger Things. Could be season 6.
Oh boy. Well, good luck, AFL.
Speaking of AFL games,
Solid.
thanks. Pretty happy with that one, actually. The mind ticking.
Yeah.
So AFL 26, Jared Thomas. Now we were. I can speak for both of us when I say I think before COVID or even just after COVID and all the lockdowns and everything, probably were not serial gamers, but gamers that would enjoy a bit of switching off time. And AFL games were part of our childhood folklore. We've talked about AFL 23 80 episodes ago, and we've come full circle to talk about AFL 26. Now, the last game that came out was a diabolical failure and should never see the light of day again. It was basically the demo version and released.
I was going to say, they should have got sued for what they did because that was horrendous how they had that whole thing.
This game has had little to no promotion, announced literally 2 weeks ago, and we've seen just screenshots and things. Arguably, the AFL is one of the biggest sporting companies on the globe. Mm-hmm. Yet one of the worst promotional fixtures ever with their games. They haven't seen a good AFL game since AFL Evolution. Even that's a bit of a stretch because I think AFL Live.
Even AFL Evo wasn't great.
But at least it was something, and it got hours out of people. Whereas
I actually played AFL Evolution rather than playing.
So did I. I even played 2. So AFL 26, we won't be here to criticise because a lot of people will do that, and everyone's doing it. You got streamers games and everything that will play the living shit out of it, and you won't see that here because 1, we're too busy, and 2, we don't know it.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
No. Can't wait to see on a Facebook Marketplace. So we did this in the first episode, so I thought I'd bring it back. What's 2 things you'd love to see this game bring back that would even consider you making it a purchase?
That's fantastic. That is a fantastic, fantastic question. One that I really want, and they already have it, I know, but it's bad, right? Is like the coach's career, as in like you manage the team and all that kind of stuff. And that does exist right now, yes, but it is broken and it is wrong. Because every time you see any of it, and again, for the not very long that I played AFL 23, the career mode immediately, every year, the ruckmen are the best players. I think in my save, Darcy Cameron won like 7 Brownlows in a row or something like that because so it's very not realistic, and that's like my favorite part of any game. My favorite FIFA, favorite part of FIFA, favorite part of NBA 2K is the career mode side of things where I get to manage a team and make it my own and win a bunch of flags and stuff. But I like to do it realistically, whereas this just sucks. So I want a good, realistic career mode that is actually decent and has everything right. And what I would also love is I would love for the state league players to have actual scanned things and not be completely wrong and completely just out of the loop of everything like that. They don't have to be unbelievably detailed. I just want them to be slightly resembling what they are so that you can get proper state league representation. What about you?
I like that. I really, really do. I think that's fantastic. The 2 things I'd bring in, one, and it's just been ever since they even did AFL Evolution, it just doesn't sit right with me. And they're both crowd related.
Yeah.
Because you can sit and go, oh yeah, I'd love to do this, I'd love to do that. And I think getting the fundamentals of this game right would make people happy. Then you can work on other things. Crowd noise. Back in the old, even AFL Live had it.
Yeah.
All the AFL Premiership games had it. Crowd noise and the roar of the crowd, and it was just on point. Even the crowd reactions, you'd see certain goals that were better than others, they had a typical reaction. Like the crowd would all lift, and you could see that. The roar would be a little bit louder. At this point, it's just, not even a ball, not even a holding the ball.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Boo.
Yeah.
You know? Second thing to do with the crowd. AFL games, it's the attention to detail as well. When I played Port Adelaide in AFL Evolution 2, it's the last game I played. I didn't play it in this one, and I know for a fact it still happens. Port Adelaide's home crowd, the cheer squad, was at the hill end. Both Adelaide teams have their cheer squads at the Riverbank stand end. Home games, simple. And I'm pretty sure it happens for all clubs. Luck of the draw if it falls right, but just attention, small things, you know?
Yeah, get the little things right.
You know, I think attention to detail, like cheer squad spelling their banners wrong, or just players getting haircuts mid-year.
Different banners would be lovely. I would love different teams, like different intros to be played. I would love the Neroteros part. Like I would like the little things. Obviously they'd have to pay for Neroteros part, which is annoying. But you know, like I would love each team's little things that they do to be added. I would love the eagle. You know, like I just want these little things to be added. That would be lovely. Because like it just feels so basic and boring. And yeah, that's why I just don't want to buy it.
I think with an AFL game, we're very simple. So we've seen FIFA, and we've got such high expectations with FIFA and how well it should be. Even the expectations and reality are never the same, and it's not going to be with an AFL game. Not with a big backing, unless an EA jumps on it or something like that.
I pray one day.
One day we can pray. But the fundamentals and the attention to detail is what will get people buying. The little itches, you know. Even the stuff in the menus, you know, we've talked about having Holy Grail and Last Man Standing and all of these songs played. You know, we talk about the different graphics used for finals games and all of these little attention to details and everything like that. That's what we want in a game. That's why games back in 2000s were elite. Yeah, every time you bought a different AFL game, it was goal. For example, the goal kicking was always a different control, so you could
get used to it and redo it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a learning experience, and that's what games should be. We asked the question this week as well.
We did.
What is your favourite AFL game of all time? What was yours?
Mine, like you said, we spoke about it, and I think it just goes in line with sort of when I'd gotten got a PS3 and I was very excited, and like I shared a PS2 with all my family and stuff, and I got a PS3 and it was all my very own, and I got AFL Live, and it was like, man, I played so much of it, and I think it goes perfectly in line with what I was saying. What I want in the game is the manager mode. There was fun, like the season mode where you took your team to flags and stuff. It was realistic and pretty good and solid, and like just a good fun time. And I want it to be the same now. And that was my one that like we said, Holy Grail on the menu, which is just a classic. And yeah, for me, it's AFL Live. Just because it just felt realer than like it ever needed to be, kind of thing. And I just loved all about it. What was your one?
AFL Live, AFL Premiership 2007.
Yeah.
2006 was elite because I love the cut scenes of goal celebrations and the replays, the instant replays used to be really cool.
Yeah.
And you used to sit there and watch it. Like you can see the crowd. And that was the thing I was talking about with the crowd and everything.
Yeah.
AFL Premiership 2007 to me felt like the culmination of the ending of that series being the perfect game, perfect representation of what they wanted. And it went from the intro with that great Fall Out Boy song to all the way to it's commentary. And we get these iconic moments and just all these little things just built into what was perfect about the AFL game. If that could be replicated and reinstated in today, 20 years later, would be absolutely prime.
I wish one day. We had a lot of different responses, and the AFL. So you obviously said Premiership 2007. We had a couple of 04 responses, which is a classic. That's the famous Joe Mercedes game where he was just incredible, and he was a bit of a nothing normal footballer, but he was just incredible out there. We had a couple AFL Evo 2 ones. And this one's very interesting to me because I never played Evo 2.
It
And
was more of a.
yeah,
I can see why, because I generally think it's the generation getting that AFL game.
yeah,
It's that generation. It's the in between of what we got for AFL23 and AFL Live. That's
and there
what
was
they
a fair
got.
gap. There was a fair gap, so that makes sense
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
It's
very interesting. We had AFL Live 2, which for this person, and I'm gonna assume like you look at AFL Live 2, and it's like the only reason I could think someone would think that'd be the best one is it was their childhood one, like AFL Live was for me. But AFL Live 2 was like such a step down in every way to AFL Live that I hated it. I had so much hate in my heart for AFL Live 2. So I saw that comment and I was like, no.
I don't blame you though.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, they got worse and worse after AFL Live, but it did well. I forgot there was an AFL Live too.
Yeah, Live 2. It was GWS were on the cover, I think. It was just, yeah. It's just
A lot of there's a lot of, I think generations will spill out the AFL Premiership series. I wish some people played like the AFL when EA Sports did do it in the 90s, 98 and 99. Yeah. Elite.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope that one day. And also, here's like a little plug, I suppose. Squiggle, which is like the AFL ladder predictor website and everything like that, they are releasing a football manager game in, I think it's August of this year. And I went on Squiggle the other day and I saw it again. I remembered that I had wishlisted on my Steam account when it got announced like last year, and I was like, holy shit, this game might actually happen. So I think in August of this year there is going to be a AFL manager style game coming out. I'm hoping they're still doing it. I haven't seen an update in a long time, and I'm just praying they still do it, because that is exactly what I want. That right there is exactly what I'm after, and I really hope they're doing it.
That's sensational. I really want it.
Yeah. I hope they're still doing it. I'll be really upset if they're not still, but that's what I want.
Yeah, right.
Or if EA could take, man, if one day I saw a thing that said EA is purchasing the rights and they're going to produce a game, oh my God.
Well, EA, right, so there was a video game, the first ever video game was in 1989, Australian rules football. Aussie rules footy was also in the 90s, which, yeah, very interesting. AFL Fever was it was also done by EA. It was 96. 98 was obviously released in the 90s, 97, 98 there. And Kevin Sheedy, AFL coach 2002, which I don't remember. 2003, AFL Live 2003, I remember. 2004, Premiership Edition, I do remember that. That was elite. 2005 was only ever changing. Obviously 2006, 2007. AFL Challenge was 2009. That was on the PSP.
What a game.
Very good. That was done by Wicked Witch, actually. And then you had AFL Live.
I was going to say AFL Live was Wicked Witch as well, I think.
Yeah, no, that was Big Ant, AFL Live. Yeah. There was AFL, just the 2011 video game that was done for Wii, and that was done by Wicked Witch. AFL Live 2, done by Wicked Witch. AFL23 was the switch back to Big Ant Studios, and this one's obviously again. So I think we might do a bit of a thing this week where we rank our top 5.
That'd be good. Yeah.
A bit of a graphic there.
I like it.
There's your job for the week. So enough about the AFL Live and all that good stuff that'll be coming out May 8th. Let's very quickly do our tips for round 9.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they only announced it like 10 days ago.
I didn't realize that it was literally 3 days time.
How's that? It's releasing on a Thursday night, and the game to promote it is Fremantle Collingwood, which, by the way, leads into my tips for round 9.
And we did it. We're all the way there.
All right. Well, just before we get into the tips for round 9, we'll do our normal looking about at the ladder and everyone's tips for last week. And it's good to see Hunt's Zilla Killers on the top, 53, Bazaroos, 52, and Geordie also on 52, Nato 51, and a whole bunch of 51s in there as well. And let's have a look and see who got the tips this week and who was the top tipper. I've been delaying it for so long. Ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, JT, got 9 out of 9. I want to talk about a positive weekend for JT, right? Let me spell it out for you. 9 out of 9 tips. 1 footy with the Saints. Just won all his fantasy leagues and had just a great weekend all round.
It was an astonishing weekend, to be honest with you. And the thing is, the Saints win goes hand in hand with the tipping one because fuck all people tips St Kilda, and me and you did.
I've never loaded up more.
It's what carried me through, and this will be. And I said this to Tam before we started. Definitely the first time I've ever tipped 9. I don't think I've ever done it. And what a week. And like I didn't notice until after the last game. And it was just bizarre. So 9 out of 9. And I was saying I've rocketed from mid-table to all of a sudden I am contending. I'm a contender. And it's gone. I went big. And it was very, very exciting.
Can't believe you did it. The text message I got, just for people at home watching and listening. Just picture I got 9 out of 9. Holy shit. With capital letters and coming through at 10 p.m. at night.
And then a lot of laughing afterwards.
And then a lot of laughing afterwards. And you can just picture the laugh like he's doing right now, just giggling at himself. Really triple checking that he did it. I got 6, which in respect of that round, considering I tipped North, Port, and I tipped
the Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Which, God forsaken, if you get that wrong, fair enough. But the other two, diabolical. So this week, I'm going to make it to my prerogative
to get 9.
To get 9. So we'll kick it off with Thursday night footy. It's at Optus. It's the replay of the draw last year.
I was going to say, yeah.
With that horrible umpiring call. Thrown to the umpire. The ball didn't get thrown to the umpire and cost Pies a goal. But anyway, Freo Pies Thursday night. They're not losing 2 in a row.
Which one?
Yeah, that begs the question, doesn't it? That is my question.
Because I think the Collingwood aren't going to lose 2s in a row, and I'm going to tip Collingwood.
That is right, B1. I'm also tipping Collingwood.
I'm going to tip them by not much, though. I think it's going to be close again. I want to say 10 points.
I'm just, as you were talking, I spelt pies with 2 E's.
Bees.
I've lost the plot. What were you tipping them by?
I tipped them by 10.
Freo no good. 25 the Pies will win by.
Wow, hey.
Yeah, I don't trust them. 25 in this day and age is nothing anyway.
It's nothing.
Friday night, Spuds game against the Blues. Very special occasion. So I guess we'll tighten up and be a bit serious about it. Friday night, the second prime time in a row at the MCG.
Big
Saints
crowd
obviously. Should we get 70, you reckon, here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think projections at the minute are about 72. So that'd be lovely if we could get a 72.
If you lost last week, it'd be about 30.
Yeah, and if Carlton had won last week, it would have gone back. No, I think Carlton losing kind of hurts it a little bit. I don't know how many. It's the Carlton fans that will carry this attendance up. That's the thing. Because we won, it definitely helps us. But because Carlton lost and lost badly, it hurts it a little bit more. But I think people will come. Obviously, a Friday night game. Very exciting. The Saints 1G game for the year, which is really, really cool. Like I said, it's going to be packed house. Hopefully the weather's good. That'd be good as well. Very, very good cause, obviously, and a very exciting game. And Saints Carlton's teams tend to produce some pretty good games over the years. Obviously, we remember the last round last year, Saints Blues. So it's very exciting.
This is so make or break because Carlton win, they're equal with the Saints 4 and 5. The Saints win, they are 5 and 3, 5 and 4, sorry, and the Blues go 3 and 6.
Yeah.
If the Blues lose, they're done.
Ooh,
That is my call.
big call.
Given the Saints.
I'm also going to tip the Saints because we seem to have Carlton's number. And we never used to be great in big games, but the last couple of years, Spud's game last year, we played at the G against Collingwood, we won. Year before that was our 150th, played at the G against Essendon, we won. So there's something about our big games at the G. We tend to rise to the occasion a little bit.
Lost the elimination finals.
Lost the elimination final there, but we don't talk about that. So I am tipping the Saints as well.
Based on form, the Saints. $2.30 odds. If you're a betting man,
and that's another thing as well. We've been this is the 8th out of our 9 games for the year that we are not favourites coming in. So I'm
real nuffy stat that.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter today, and I was like, "How about that?" The only game we came into favourites was the Richmond one, and we thumped them. So
we've obviously got to pick a gauntlet this week, which we can do after this. Yep. But we picked the Hawks last week, and I'm backing against the D's.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a guarantee. No need to talk.
Swans Essendon at Marvel. Now, this is a bit more juicier than I think a lot of people anticipate. These games seem to be very, very good, and
they always are every time.
I really like the Saturday fixture is not too bad actually. I think that D's will put up a fight against the Hawks as well. How good are Essendon? I actually have no bloody idea. I actually have no idea. They are arguably the most confusing 4 and 3 side I've seen, and that includes Port Adelaide's 4 and 4. It also includes St Kilda, Fremantle, the Giants, and everyone else that's 4 and 4 at the moment too. I think I like these Swans new makeshift forwards. What do you think?
See, I'm kind of different in that I think this is more clear cut than people think, or than I'd like to think. I don't think Essendon are good, like at all. I don't think, and I think they're going to get a real big reality check against a Sydney team that has a renewed bit of fight about them. Chad Warner is playing some of the best footy he's played in a long time. Heaney was really, really good. I think Sydney is going to win, and they are going to be my lock for the week.
Oh, gauntlet lock.
Yeah.
I really want to tip Essendon. It's not because I hate the Swans. I think I agree with you. Their renaissance is going to be building now from here on end because they like to do that.
Yep.
Something about Essendon at Marvel.
Just scary.
This will solidify the Dons.
They got a lot of injuries as well. Like, you got to remember, like Ridley's gone, Jones is gone.
Oh, you just reminded me about Ridley. I was tipping the Swans. Not because they're losing Ridley, it's because he pissed all over my fantasy team on the weekend and decided to cost me the game. Ridiculous. Ridley, ridiculous.
Yep.
Suns, Dogs, Darwin. They don't lose in Darwin.
They don't.
No.
They do not.
They pumped the shit out of the Cats last year.
They do not lose in Darwin. And I'm pretty sure the year before that, they might have beat the Dogs up there too. I think they might have played the Dogs there and they might have beat them as well.
I'll be at the showdown, but I'll probably watch this instead.
It's going to be really good. Dogs are the hottest team in the AFL right now. And the Suns coming off a bad loss, but they don't lose in Darwin.
Just realised the showdown is so late at 7:40 as well.
That is a very late game. My goodness me. You're drunk by the time the game starts.
I'll be leaving at quarter time anyway, so it'll be fine. I don't think the Suns are that bad.
No, I don't think that bad. I'm going to tip the Suns. As much as the Dogs have been so good, I'm going to tip the Suns.
The Dogs win this. It's incredible. I'm also tipping the Suns.
Yeah.
Port Crows.
I believe I said it to you today. There is no team that comes back from a demoralizing ridiculously embarrassing performance than Port Adelaide.
I've ridden the luck of Port Adelaide all year. I've tipped them in every game, no matter what we did. Even after the terrible loss to the Saints, I tipped us against the Hawks. I had the feeling. I just hate thinking we're going to win.
I'm going to tip them as well, to be honest.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hate it.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
This is their last chance for me.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Do I put the pressure on them and make them a gauntlet?
I was going to say, there's not a lot of options going around.
Let me think about it. Tigers, Eagles. This actually may be the weekend where I wake up not hungover and be like, fuck, I don't want to watch footy.
Don't want to be there. I've been very aggressive about how bad the Eagles are, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Richmond are better than them already. To be honest, they show more fight, they care more.
And it's generally just an intriguing game. This one,
yeah. Because Richmond win this, they're 3-5, and that's not that bad.
Richmond, they're 2-6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying right now. But if they beat so 3-6. That's not that bad.
Jeez, imagine like the likes of Sydney, Carlton, and Melbourne all lose across the weekend. You've got a Richmond outfit that 3-6, and the rest of them are all 3-6 as well. Go the Tigers.
I'm going the Tigers as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
They lose to West Coast, and I'm never tipping them again. Tips are very similar. They're the same this week so far.
There you go.
Interesting. Cats, Giants, GMHBA. We are Geelong and we are Ants Lock. We are Geelong. We don't lose at home. I'm tipping the Cats by plenty, no matter how long it goes. They're going to play on Sunday against the Giants, who are not turning up.
That summed it all up, just about, to be honest. I don't think the Giants are any good. I'm tipping the Cats.
It's amazing how the first 6 rounds, everyone was like, Hawks, Giants, Granny, the season's done.
Now
Giants
I'm like,
Giants might be out the 8th by the end of the round. It generally could be too. That's incredible. I'm tipping the Cats. Last one. Brisbane, North Melbourne. You're not thinking about it. Shut up.
Kind of am a little bit, though.
I put Brisbane down already for you, so that's
I guess I'm tipping Brisbane then. But don't be surprised if North do okay. Because it's Tassie. I don't think they're good.
Oh my God, I've just realised.
Yeah, it's Ninja.
No. The fact that this fucking game's closing out the round and it's in Tassie.
Grim. I can guarantee you right now, okay? Just before we get into anything else.
They have electricity past 6 o'clock down there?
I can guarantee you right now, I'm not watching this game of football. TV is off by the time this starts.
Mother's Day anyway.
Yeah. Not happening.
I've tipped Brisbane.
Yeah, I've also tipped Brisbane. But North might be okay.
I've also just gone to put in my gauntlet and realised that I'm not doing yours. All right, let's ride this one out. Can't tip Port, can't tip the Hawks, and we're gonna tip the Cats. Round 10 looks already diabolical. Thank you very much. That's the tips.
We did it.
Let's hope this round's better. Don't forget to put your tips in.
Everyone,
last words?
You might get 9. You might get 9 like me, and that'd be very exciting. And now we've got the exact same tips. So if one of us gets 9, both of us are going to get 9. That's very exciting.
Yeah, right. Didn't think about that either, did I?
No differences.
Just 15 points in margin.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about it.
We did it.
Done and dusted. Any last words?
Yeah, like you said, let's hope this round is not like the last one, because we spoke last week about when does footy get bad, and I think I found it. I think I found when it gets bad, and it's right about now. So let's just hope.
We spent 5 minutes talking about Aussie the Eagle. Shit. Anyway, see you later.
Enjoy, everybody.